The night was alive with danger. Rain-slicked streets reflected the harsh neon lights of Seoul, turning the city into a maze of shadows and whispers. Maya's heart pounded as she ducked behind a dumpster, eyes fixed on the black van idling across the alley. Inside, two infants cried softly, tiny sounds swallowed by the hum of a city. Maya's fingers itched around the stun gun in her hand. She had trained for moments like this, but nothing could have prepared her for the weight of responsibility pressing on her chest. "This is insane," she muttered to herself, scanning the perimeter. Two babies alone and their parents. What the hell were they thinking? Before she could act, a voice cut through the rain, calm but firm. "You don't go in alone." Maya spun around, startled. A tall figure in a sleek, black uniform stepped out from the shadows. Katana, official black police officer, part of the Korean child trafficking task force, crossed her arms, eyes narrowing. Behind her, Young-woo, Maya's partner, a man she had clashed with more times than she could count, lingered, jaw tight, expression unreadable. "Then I guess you're coming with me," Maya said, voice steady, forcing herself to ignore the rapid thrum of adrenaline. Young-woo's lips curved in a thin, unwilling smile. "Don't get used to it. I don't follow orders from anyone." Maya rolled her eyes, but there was no time for banter. "Then follow my lead." The alley erupted into chaos. The van's doors swung open, masked men trying to load the babies back in. Maya moved first, adrenaline sharpening her reflexes. She dodged a swinging arm, grabbed the nearest baby, and ducked behind a stack of crates. The baby whimpered, tiny hands gripping her wet coat. Young-woo was a few feet away, taking down the nearest thug with precise, controlled movements. He didn't speak, just moved with a lethal grace that made Maya's pulse race in more ways than one. Katana's voice rang out, sharp and commanding. "Keep them safe. I'll cover you." Maya barely registered the words before another man lunged toward her. She yelped, shoving the baby toward Young-woo. He caught it effortlessly, eyes locking with hers for a split second. There was no time for words, only action. When the smoke cleared, a combination of stun grenades and sheer brute force, the babies were safe. The kidnappers scattered into the rain, van abandoned, sirens approaching in the distance. Maya sank to her knees, chest heaving, rain plastering her hair to her forehead. "They're okay," she whispered, barely believing it herself. Young-woo stepped forward, holding one baby close. He crouched to her level, eyes meeting hers. "You did good," he said softly, tone devoid of sarcasm for once. Maya's chest tightened. "We did good," she corrected, glancing at Katana, who nodded approvingly. But even as the adrenaline faded, an uncomfortable tension remained. The babies cooed quietly in their arms, oblivious to the chaos. Maya couldn't shake the feeling that their rescue had only scratched the surface of something far more dangerous. "You realize this isn't over," Young-woo said quietly, voice low enough that only she could hear. "Whoever sent them, they're going to come back. And next time, it might not be just the babies at risk." Maya swallowed hard. "Then we'll be ready," she said, but the truth gnawed at her. Every instinct screamed danger, every fiber of her being warned her. This night was only the beginning. And as she looked at Young-woo, standing there with a baby in each arm, she couldn't ignore the sparks of something more, something dangerous, something thrilling, that crackled between them. The rain fell harder, washing away the streets, but doing nothing to calm the storm that had just begun. The courtroom was tense, sterile, and suffocating. Maya gripped the edge of the bench, her knuckles white, as Young-woo sat beside her, arms crossed, jaw tight. Neither of them spoke, their usual bickering silenced by the gravity of the situation. Across the room, the parents of the babies sat smugly, polished smiles hiding the venom beneath. Their lawyers waved papers, accusations dripping from every word. "You stand accused of kidnapping my client's children, unlawfully removing them from their custody and causing emotional distress," the lead attorney announced, eyes flicking to Maya. "These actions are not only illegal but have financially and emotionally damaged my clients." Maya froze. The words didn't make sense. Unlawful? Financially damaged? They had risked everything to save these children, and now they were being punished for it? Young-woo leaned in, voice low, clipped. Unbelievable. They're trying to sue us for saving their children. Maya exhaled slowly, refusing to let her anger boil over in front of the judge. It's insane. They were in danger. They could have died if we hadn't intervened. The parents' lawyer smirked. Your Honor, these individuals acted outside the law. They did not have consent to remove these minors from the custody of their natural guardians. Additionally, their reckless handling caused undue trauma and emotional distress, for which my clients demand restitution. Maya's stomach turned. Emotional distress? Are you kidding me? She shot a sharp look at Young-woo. His jaw was set, eyes burning with the same mix of fury and disbelief she felt. You've got to be joking, he muttered under his breath. They sold their own children, Maya, and now they want to get money from us? Maya's eyes widened. What are you saying? Young-woo leaned closer, voice just above a whisper. They're hiding something. That's why they're trying to make us the villains. The truth, the babies weren't just kidnapped by random criminals. Their own parents were involved somehow. Maya's mind reeled. Their parents? That didn't make any sense. She had saved the babies from a dangerous trafficking ring, risked her life, and now the people who should have been grateful were trying to destroy them. The rest of the hearing blurred together. Legal jargon, angry accusations, and the chilling realization that their enemies were far closer than they had imagined. After what felt like hours, the judge finally banged the gavel. I am granting temporary custody of the minors to the defendants, Maya and Young-woo, until this case is resolved. Both parties are warned to maintain professional decorum. Maya exhaled, relief and frustration colliding. Young-woo gave her a brief, almost imperceptible nod, a silent acknowledgement that, at least for now, they were in this together. As they left the courtroom, Maya's mind churned. So, we're supposed to just take care of these babies? Their parents are actively trying to ruin us, and we have to babysit. Young-woo smirked, though it didn't reach his eyes. Looks like it. Welcome to parenthood, detective. Try not to screw it up. Maya groaned, shoving her wet hair behind her ear. Easy for you to say. You're not the one being screamed at by a tiny human who thinks your face is a chew toy. Young-woo rolled his eyes, but the corner of his lips twitched into a rare smile. Trust me, by the end of this, you'll be glad I'm here. Maya's stomach twisted, partly at the thought of caring for two babies she barely knew, partly at the intensity in Young-woo's eyes. Sparks of frustration, tension, and something dangerously close to attraction flickered between them. But she pushed it down. Right now, there were bigger problems. Their enemies weren't just the parents. There were darker forces lurking in the shadows, waiting for a single mistake. And Maya knew, deep down, that this temporary guardianship would test them in ways neither of them could yet imagine. The apartment was a mess. Cribs side by side, toys scattered across the floor, and two tiny humans screaming their lungs out like alarms in the dead of night. Maya ran a hand through her damp hair, taking a deep breath as Young-woo moved swiftly to soothe one of the babies. You're surprisingly good at this, Maya admitted, leaning against the wall, arms crossed. Young-woo glanced up, one brow raised, eyes gleaming with something she couldn't quite place. Don't let it go to your head. I've got patience, just not your kind of chaos. Maya snorted. Chaos? This isn't chaos, it's survival. He handed her the second baby, whose tiny fists flailed wildly. Survival, huh? Then why are you so tense? She hesitated, then muttered, because I keep thinking about their parents. About the lawsuit. About how they could destroy everything if we mess up. Young-woo's expression hardened. Maya, listen to me. They already sold these kids once. Do you really think they're going to win against us now? We're smarter, faster, and they've already proven how greedy and desperate they are. Maya nodded slowly, feeling some of the tension in her chest ease. But a flicker of doubt remained. How far would someone go for money? For power? The next few days were chaos, feeding schedules, diaper blowouts, constant vigilance, and endless paperwork. Maya and Youngwoo argued over everything, from bedtime routines to how to soothe the babies. And yet, in the middle of the chaos, a rhythm began to emerge. There was the moment when Youngwoo caught Maya's hand as she stumbled, their fingers brushing, eyes locking for a heartbeat longer than necessary. A spark passed between them, undeniable, dangerous, thrilling. And then the phone call came. Maya answered, her heart skipping a beat as she listened. "What do you mean the parents?" "They're being investigated," Youngwoo said quietly after she hung up. "Turns out they weren't just greedy. They were connected to the trafficking network we rescued the babies from. They sold them years ago, Maya." Maya felt the room tilt, a wave of nausea and disbelief hitting her.
"What?"
"That's impossible. Their own parents? They tried to destroy us because why?"
"Money."
"Cover-ups."
"Greed."
"They knew if the truth came out, they'd go to jail. So they tried to turn it around, sue us, make us the villains." Maya's fists clenched around the baby she held. Rage, relief, and fear mingled inside her. So everything they've done, every threat, every lawsuit, it was all a lie to protect themselves? Youngwoo nodded. "Exactly. And now we have to protect the kids until the law can handle the rest. Temporary guardianship, remember?" Maya's eyes softened as she watched him cradle the other baby, his tough exterior replaced by something gentler, something vulnerable. For the first time, she saw the man beneath the armor. Not the partner she'd clashed with at every turn, but someone fiercely protective, unexpectedly patient, and deeply human. "You know," she said quietly, almost to herself, "we're going to survive this, aren't we?" Youngwoo glanced at her, a half-smile tugging at his lips. "We're not just going to survive, Maya. We're going to do this together." The babies cooed softly, oblivious to the chaos and danger surrounding them. And in that moment, Maya realized something terrifying and thrilling. The more time she spent with Youngwoo, the more she couldn't ignore the pull between them. There was danger lurking in the shadows. There was betrayal, greed, and secrets that had nearly destroyed lives. But for now, in the messy, chaotic apartment filled with tiny cries and soft coos, Maya and Youngwoo found something rare: trust, teamwork, and the first flickers of a connection that neither could deny. The storm outside raged on, but inside, something warm, fragile, and exhilarating began to grow, a promise that even in the darkest shadows, they might find light together. The city was quieter than usual, but Maya knew better than to trust the calm. She adjusted the blanket around one of the babies as Youngwoo paced the living room, checking the locks and scanning the rain-darkened streets from the window. "They'll come back," he said, tone grim. "The network we took them from, and their parents, they're desperate. And desperate people are dangerous." Maya swallowed hard, rocking the other baby gently. "We've done everything right so far. We can't let fear run us. Not now." Youngwoo's gaze softened for the briefest moment, but the tension never left his posture. "Right now, it's just us and them. And the babies. That's all that matters." Maya's heart thudded, both from his words and from the intensity in his eyes. She felt an odd mix of adrenaline, fear, and something dangerously thrilling. Hours passed in tense silence, punctuated by the baby's cries and occasional whispered instructions. And then it happened. A knock at the door. Maya froze. "Who?" Before she could finish, Youngwoo moved, swift and protective, hand hovering near his concealed weapon. He opened the door a crack, scanning the street. No one. Only the rain-soaked pavement. "They're testing us," he muttered. "Checking if we're alert. Don't relax for a second." Maya nodded, heart racing, and in that moment, something shifted between them. The fear, the chaos, the responsibility. It all merged into a tight coil of emotion that neither could ignore. "Youngwoo," she said softly, voice barely audible. "Thank you for everything. For saving the babies, for being here." He turned, the protective mask slipping just slightly. His eyes softened, revealing vulnerability beneath the controlled exterior. "I'm not doing it for thanks, Maya. I'm doing it because I promised their parents and because I can't stand the thought of anything happening to you either." Her breath caught. To me? He stepped closer, the tension palpable, dangerous and intoxicating.
Yes. To you.
Maya's hand brushed his arm. Their eyes locked, electricity sparking in the space between them. And then, without warning, he closed the distance. The kiss was fierce and tender all at once, a release of adrenaline, frustration, longing, and emotion neither had fully admitted. It wasn't just desire. It was relief, it was connection, it was fire meeting fire. They broke apart only slightly, foreheads resting together, breaths mingling in the rain's soft rhythm outside. "We can't right now," Maya whispered, heart pounding. "I know," Youngwoo said, voice low, but there was no denying the heat in his gaze. "But we will. We have to survive first. And then this." For the rest of the night, they worked seamlessly together, feeding, soothing, and protecting the babies, each action tightening the bond between them. Every glance, every touch, every whispered word deepened something neither could fully name yet. By dawn, exhaustion settled over them, but so did a quiet, undeniable connection. The storm outside had passed, but the fire between them burned stronger than ever, unspoken, dangerous, thrilling. And as Maya watched Youngwoo cradle the babies, humming softly to calm them, she realized the truth. No matter what shadows awaited outside, no matter what secrets were yet to be revealed, she and Youngwoo were stronger together. Stronger and closer than either of them had expected. The night air was thick with tension as Maya and Youngwoo moved cautiously through the apartment, babies bundled safely against them. The warning had come hours ago. Someone was trying to breach the building. Maya's pulse thundered in her chest. "Are you sure the locks are secure?" Youngwoo's eyes narrowed. "As secure as I can make them. But they're clever. And desperate. That makes them dangerous." A sudden crash from the stairwell made Maya jump. Baby clutched tightly. Youngwoo's hand was on her arm instantly, guiding her toward the corner, both alert and ready. "They're here," he whispered. "Stay calm. Don't let them see fear." The intruders didn't get far. Youngwoo moved like a shadow, precise and controlled, disarming one of the masked figures before they could reach the babies. Maya, fueled by fear and adrenaline, followed suit, every move sharp, every reaction instinctive. By the time the police backup arrived, called earlier by Katana, the intruders were neutralized, leaving Maya and Youngwoo panting but unscathed, the baby safe. As the adrenaline faded, reality hit the parents. Their lawyer had tipped them off, revealing a network of lies and attempts to manipulate the situation. Why would they do this? Maya asked, shaking with residual fear. Why put everyone at risk? Youngwoo's eyes softened, but the tension remained. Because they're desperate. Because greed blinds people to everything else. And because the truth is worse than anyone imagined. Maya froze as he explained. The parents had been the ones who sold the babies years ago. Every lawsuit, every attempt to ruin them, every threat, all part of a desperate ploy to cover their crimes. "They're going to jail," Maya breathed, a mixture of relief and anger coursing through her. "All of them?" Youngwoo nodded.
"Yes."
"Finally, justice will be done." Maya's chest heaved as she looked at him, a rush of emotion breaking through the tension. "We did it," she whispered. Youngwoo stepped closer, eyes locking with hers. "We did it together." The moment stretched between them, heavy with unspoken words, desire, and gratitude. The chaos of the past days, the danger, and the fear melted away, leaving only them, two people who had fought side by side, who had saved lives and faced betrayal together. And then, without thinking, Youngwoo reached out, gently brushing a strand of wet hair from her face. Maya's breath hitched. "This isn't over," he said softly, voice low, tinged with emotion. "But us? We can handle it. Together." Maya's lips parted, heart pounding. She leaned into him, the babies cooing softly between them. And when their lips met, it was not just passion, it was relief, connection, and a promise. A promise that whatever shadows remained, they would face them as one. The babies gurgled, tugging lightly at their blankets, innocent and safe in their arms. Maya smiled through her tears, looking at Youngwoo. "So, what now?" He smiled back, a rare, soft expression that melted away the last of the tension.
"Now?"
"We become a family. We protect them. And maybe, just maybe, we let ourselves be happy." For the first time in days, the apartment felt warm, alive, and safe. Danger had passed, but something stronger remained: love, trust, and a new family forged in the shadows. Maya held the babies close, leaning against Youngwoo, and realized with a thrill she couldn't deny. Together, they could survive anything. Together, they had everything. Sunlight filtered through the curtains, casting a warm glow over the apartment. For the first time in days, Maya didn't wake to alarms, cries, or the fear of what might come next. Instead, there was laughter, soft, happy coos from the babies, and the occasional gleeful squeal that made her chest ache with joy. Youngwoo was in the kitchen, humming softly as he prepared bottles, moving with a careful, practiced grace that made Maya smile. She leaned against the doorway, watching him, feeling a warmth in her chest she had never thought she would allow herself to feel. "You know," she said softly, stepping closer, "I never imagined life like this." He glanced over his shoulder, a mischievous glint in his eyes. "Life like this?" "Yes," she said, lifting one of the babies to cradle in her arms. "Chaos, responsibility, love. And somehow, despite all the danger, despite everything, it feels right." Youngwoo set down the bottle and crossed the room, kneeling in front of her. His hands brushed against hers as they adjusted the blanket around the baby, fingers lingering. His gaze softened, heavy with emotion. "You think this is chaos now," he said quietly, voice low and steady. "But one day, it'll just be our normal. And you and I, we'll face it together. Always." Maya's heart swelled. She leaned closer, letting the baby rest in her arms, and whispered, I'm ready for that." The courtroom ruling had come through that morning. The parents were sentenced for their crimes, and the babies were legally allowed to remain with Maya and Youngwoo. Temporary guardianship was no longer temporary. This was their family, their life. Youngwoo reached out, cupping her face gently. "Then it's official. We're in this together. No more shadows, Maya. Just us." She smiled, feeling a rush of emotion, relief, and something thrilling that had been building between them from the very beginning. "Together," she echoed. He leaned in, and their lips met in a kiss that was soft, passionate, and full of promises. No chaos, no danger, just the two of them, finally allowing themselves to feel what had been there all along.